Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
I think I'm going to kiss a fool. My nose is now itching because I've got this one piece of hair that keeps coming down. I'm Carolyn, and I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry on Instagram. I've been posting periodically as Knitting in Our Jeans. I think I posted something this week, but I'm unsure.
This week went by very quickly.
It did.
I've
been doing a lot of reading.
Me too.
And a lot of ordering. We'll talk about what I have on.
Oh, yes. All of your ordering.
My purchases.
I got a lot of things in the mail this week.
Well, this is something I got in the mail.
That's what I was leading to.
Okay. So I'm dressed like this because I figured out that Maine is cold.
Okay.
What a revelation. And some of the people in our club sail up to Maine in the summer. And we had seen some of their slideshows. And their slideshows show the female members of the group dressed in parkas. I had no parka. So I went
We had to remedy this.
Yes. So I went to Patagonia.com. And this is called a 3-in-1 or a 3-in-1. 3-en-1. Something like that. And I was looking at exactly this jacket. And it is a 3-in-1, I guess, because it has a hood. So yes, I can come out of here. And then it zippers. And then it has this lining that zippers in. So it can be just a shell. I guess I could just wear the lining, but that would be silly. I can wear it just as a shell, or I can zipper in the lining, and the lining goes all the way down my cuff, which is lovely. It does act as a raincoat, and as I said, I have this hood. So when I'm driving the new boat, I can be warm for my time at the helm.
Oh, very good.
Yes, and I didn't buy the short one. I bought the longer one, so the coat... You can't
comes
see.
Down to almost your knee.
Almost my knee. I can remember when I was the tall one. But, well,
I am now the tall one.
Well, no, actually I was thinking of when I was in elementary school.
Oh.
And I was always in the back row because I was one of those tall ones. Yes. So, anyway, I was looking at this coat. And it was fairly expensive.
Well, Patagonia tends to be, but we also tend to wear our Patagonia
forever.
Well, if you haven't realized this yet, having not watched us for a while, we tend to wear our clothes until they die. Because we tend to buy clothes that we very much like to wear.
Yes.
And they're utilitarian. As you all may remember, I didn't make a new winter coat until my old one was falling apart.
I made this little sundress.
Years ago.
Decades ago. And I think I got silver nitrate on it.
You got something on it.
Yes, because it doesn't come out in the wash. But it's great for wandering around the house in. And I've been wandering around the house all day today because we went to 2
shindigs
cookouts yesterday. And going from months of not doing anything and eating very plain food, going to shindigs where both were... One was high cuisine, and the other one was ethnic. And obviously my stomach and my head didn't do well at this because I ended up with a migraine My theory is that if I could just stay up for 24 hours, I might not end up with a headache because I only catch the headache when I go to bed.
I understand.
Yes. So I tried to stay up till... tomorrow or today. That didn't work. I actually fell asleep reading. So I was asleep.
You and I both fell asleep.
On my arm.
And then I thought you were going to bed.
No, I never said I was. No, I didn't.
I realized if I wanted to do church today, I should probably go to bed.
Well, I had decided before you showed up that I wasn't going because I could see the likelihood was that I was sinking. And I sank further than I thought. So anyway, this has been a great sundress to wander around the house in. But anyway, in the mail, I got this. The Patagonia jacket that I got is a used one. So Patagonia will sell you recycled Patagonia wear, which they are putting under their green initiative. It's very clean. And the one I bought is an extra large because I wanted to be able to fit sweaters underneath of it, etc. And I'm very pleased with it. And I thought they labeled it quite well. They said it was in excellent shape. I agree with them. But it cut off about $150 to $175 off the price of that jacket, which I thought was absolutely amazing and great.
Well worth it.
Yes. And I will probably wear it till it wears out. So
until it starts spitting out feathers?
Yeah, or whatever.
That's usually how long we wear our Patagonia gear.
Or whatever's in the lining.
Yeah.
Of course, I can always recover the lining because the outside seems like a poplin or something. It's some kind of waterproofish.
It's like a poplin that has a coating on it.
Right. So I think we'd have to wait till it actually was separating. Anyway, I'm really happy with that. So that's something that came in the mail this week. Should we go with what else came in the mail this week?
I mean, sure. I have some things that came in the mail, too.
Well, should I start with that?
I mean, sure.
Okay, so this I got from Instagram.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Of course you did.
This is another darner, and they call it a small loom. Whoa. Small loom. And what you do is you actually use these teeth to create the warp on your loom. I think that one's better. There.
So it's like all of those darning mushrooms you've seen, especially from Girlls, that have the teeth that come up that you use. This instead has these little hooks.
Little hooks, yes. You see the hooks here. So they have it so you put this part in your sock or the piece, jeans or whatever it is that you're working on, and then this is what keeps your warp. Or it looks like what you're doing is you're sliding your needle that is holding your weft right under that, and then. I'm not sure how it keeps moving up. I guess, it's almost like knitting.
No, so you start it down here, Mom.
Yes.
And then it goes up.
Got it. Anyway.
And you pick up at the side of everything. It's
just
like a regular loom. It's just a little bit larger. It's like a regular darning loom.
Yes.
It's just a little bit larger and has these little
I just opened it.
Hook situations.
So I'll let you know how this does because we all know that I tend to wear out the bottoms of my socks. And I have a feeling that I'll be using this again, or I'll be using it for the first time in the near future. Not that I have any socks right now to darn, but they are coming. I think that's all that came in the mail for me. What came in the mail for you?
Well, my Magpie order came in the mail.
Ooh.
So I have a test knit that's due at the end of the month that I ordered this yarn for in the
June.
Yes. But I ordered this yarn at in the Mother's Day sale. The thing is that they got very overwhelmed with their orders at Mother's Day. So I'm hoping I can still get the test knit done. But I got Solstice DK, which is 15% or 50% domestic superwash merino.
Ooh.
25% cotton, 25% silk.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so I did a swatch.
And it's lovely.
And I've washed and dried it on delicate, not in hand wash, just because sometimes I like, when I do my sweaters about probably every third or fourth wash, I put them through on delicate instead of hand wash.
Do you? Why do you do that?
Just because it makes me feel a little bit better about them getting clean.
I don't think my sweaters ever really get that dirty unless I've dribbled something on them. So for me, the hand wash.
Yeah, exactly. Usually I do hand wash, but every so often.
Right.
And also because sometimes I have mostly socks and just one sweater. And socks I do like to put through on delicate versus hand wash just because they do get a little grungier.
I could see that. However, I've been putting them. I kind of go back and forth, but I've been putting my socks in the little zipper bags.
I need to get some more of those zipper bags to borrow them while I'm here.
They're at the bottom of my dirty clothes bag, but I've got a bunch of them. Something I ordered a bunch of, I think it was the Instagram bras. They came in those net bags, which I can't imagine why. But anyway, I saved them.
Because they are supposed to be washed in them properly.
Yeah, well, I just hook them and then put them in on the delicate cycle. So I save them, and I think they're perfect for socks. So that and this way the socks are not getting lost.
This way you put them in as pairs.
I do. So they're coming out together, which is very nice. So I'm very pleased with that. Yes.
So it did bloom a little bit. So
it did what?
It bloomed just a little bit.
Okay.
So I was just under gauge before, and now I've hit gauge or thereabouts. So I have cast on my project. So this is the color. This is Follow You Into the Dark. It's really great. In some lights it looks very blue. In some lights it looks green. Some lights it looks kind of gray. I really love it. And then because there was a sale. Yeah, it's a deep teal. And then because there was a sale, I couldn't resist getting 3 skeins of Velvet Underground. I had another test knit that I was signed up for, but we haven't received the pattern since
that was
March. And I had another yarn picked out for it. And so I figure if they ever contact about it, I'll use it, or I'll use it for something else. But Velvet Underground is a beautiful purple, and we all know how much I love purple.
That's right.
And who knows, it might just become something else.
Oh, at one of the parties last night, one of the women had a streak of blue in her hair.
Oh.
That was quite visible. And she looked at me and she says, "You would look good with a streak of purple." And I'm thinking, I have colored my hair for almost 50 years. I've just grown it out.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't need to color it again. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've gone from blonde to red to... I don't need a little odd color streak. I'm going to be piloting a catamaran, for God's sake. That's about enough individuality that I need. And I really don't like roots.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's a personal thing. I don't like roots on me. And knowing that should the boat inspection go well on July 6th, that we'll be back up collecting the boat in 2 weeks and then being on the boat for 4 to 5 weeks. That's Root City.
You're going to be on the boat for 4 to 5 weeks after that?
Bring it down from Maine. We're going to travel a day, then get off the boat and wander the town for a day, then come back.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this, y'all.
Oh, well, it's always good to tell me.
Yeah, it's always good to tell me what the plan is.
That's the plan. So we'll have to figure out how we do this.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm taking projects with me.
I was not aware you were planning on being away for a month and a half.
Well, 5 weeks is not a month and a half.
I heard 4 to 6. So.
No, I said 4 to 5.
Oh, okay. But still, I was unaware.
Your father says 3 to 4. So.
Okay.
I'm saying there may be weather.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to go out in weather.
Okay.
I showed one of the ladies last night at the party some of the waves that I had put on Instagram from a year ago.
I don't see an app called Instagram.
Well, I don't know what your problem is.
Thank you, Watch.
I have no idea why she decided to chime in.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That she used to do that in class.
Yeah.
Or she'd say, "Have you fallen?" And I'm writing on the blackboard or the whiteboard. "No, I haven't fallen. Be quiet and go away."
Yes, go to the health center. Go away. For those of you who don't know that story, I was a freshman in college and coughed myself a detached chest muscle, and it hurt really bad. So I saw my mom was online when I was debating going to the health center 2 days later, and she didn't know, and she was in the middle of class, and I didn't realize she was in the middle of class, and so up on her screen,
pops
in class, presenting to her class, pops me going, "Mom, it still hurts. Should I go to the health center?"
And I said, "Yes, go to the health center.
I'm in class. Bye."
And they're going, "Dr. Primer, that's a little harsh." I said, She is in Philadelphia. I'm outside of here. I'm north of New York here. There's no way I can run down there to deal with the situation. Of course you go to
in less than 2.5 hours.
Go to the health center. Of course. Give me a break.
Well, it was more because if I went to the health center, I had to miss class, and I was like, "Is it worth it?" And you were like, "Yes, it's worth it. Go. You're in pain for 2 days. Yes. Go."
It ended up that we brought her home early for Thanksgiving because we weren't getting quite the satisfaction that we wanted from the health center, because they start from the very beginning rather than going, "Oh, we know you. We should send you immediately for this, that, and the other." Which is the only comment I have about the health centers, that they really do start at the very beginning. You know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. To try to figure things out instead of listening to someone who might have a litany of things that we've been through before. That's my only comment. So when she was away at school, if things sounded like they were getting a little grim, I would swoop down and get her and bring her home to be dealing with the health groups that we have up here that knew her. I have no problem doing that. It's just that I had this, or I had another version of this computer, and it was the first Mac I had, so I didn't realize how you close these things.
So, but it was just very funny that I just flashed back to that moment.
Yes.
We say that sometimes around.
I made it small, but apparently it was still open, and I had no clue, so it was my class was traumatized by the fact that I just said, "Go to the health center." And I turned to them and I said, "Well, if you ask me the same thing, I tell you to go to the health center too. You're adults. Go to the health center." Anyway, now I forgot what I was talking about.
You were talking about coming down from Maine and how you were talking to your, you were showing off waves on Instagram.
Yes. And one of the ladies was saying, "I can't believe you're getting back on a boat." I'm like, "We're not going out in that weather." That was because we had a chartered boat for 10 days. And so you want to get the most you can out of your charter. Well, when you don't have a schedule, I mean, the only thing, we have to watch out for storms. So I'll be looking at predict wind. Storms, including hurricanes. So, but now we have a boat, or we will have a boat, it should all go well, that it only draws 3.5 feet.
That's nice.
So we can go upriver.
That'll be nice.
That will be very nice. So we would have to wait for bridges to open and things like that, but we'd be able to really get into some very upriver, shallow places where we should be okay. So we also should be home by the time the weather gets bad.
It should.
So the plan is to be home by the end of August.
Okay, good to know.
Yes.
Appreciate the update.
You still haven't told your grandmother anything about this.
I don't tell Grandma anything until you tell Grandma something.
Right, because she tends to get overexcited. Like when we drove down for Mother's Day, she knew we were coming. She knew we were coming for weeks. She lives in Virginia, so they were having the problem with the gasoline pipeline. Thursday night, before we leave early on Friday morning, she calls and says, "Do you know there's a gas problem?" I said, "Yes, I've already checked with my brother, your son, who says you can get gas in Maryland. You can get gas down outside of Richmond. The only place you can't get gas is near you, Mom." So we figured out that we're going to fill up on our way. We're going to fill up in New York, fill up in Maryland, come see you, pick you up, drive you down to Richmond with us, fill up at Richmond for the way back, and then we should have plenty of gas to get over, through Maryland or Delaware. We actually had enough gas to get to the first stop in New Jersey, which was no problem whatsoever. But that's my mom, not realizing that we've already been through this. We've thought it through. I've contacted my source on the ground. So it was hysterical. So anyway, we're not going out in really bad weather anymore because we don't have a schedule. We don't have to go out.
No.
So it may take time, but we'll have to figure out this filming thing.
We can do that.
Yes.
We can figure that out.
Yes. Yes. But I do plan to bring projects with me. I can't imagine being out for weeks without one.
No.
Or several.
Yeah, definitely several.
Yes. I have to tell you, though, I do tend to press on with projects when they're for myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've noticed the same. I have multiple baby knits.
Yes.
Remember how I have so many babies to knit for? Yeah, guess who hasn't been knitting on baby stuff this week?
I did, but I certainly don't press as hard as when I'm knitting for myself.
Yep.
I am the picture of a selfish knitter. I really am.
I mean, we are, but at the same time, we will still knit for others.
Yes.
But it's way more. It's like way harder to convince yourself to not fall asleep while knitting it.
It's deadly. It's deadly. I mean, did you finish with what came in the mail for you?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Well, and what is not here is 6 yards of a medium weight, like beige linen.
Is it 100% linen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you washed it before you cut it, because
why wouldn't I? You've always told me you put everything
normally
in the wash.
I was thinking of dry cleaning it, but heck, now I would put it through the wash, and
it told me I could.
Excellent.
I looked it up.
Excellent.
It told me I could.
Excellent.
I mean, it suggested, though, if you accidentally put a light-colored thing in there with dark-colored things and it bled, then you should dry clean. But it said I could machine wash and dry, so I'm going to.
Oh, well, that's good.
And that, I think, will become a pair of pants. I'm hoping this week or next. But, because I wanted to get it done yesterday, but I was at one of the shindigs yesterday and had a lot of energy depleted.
A lot of hijinks.
Yeah, and so that I did not get as much crafting done afterwards as I had hoped.
Right. Well, you stayed later.
I did.
I got no crafting done, and knew I was gonna come home and crash.
Well, I've
also been doing a lot of reading this week.
Yeah, we've mentioned that.
Yes. So, although I can knit, and I did this. I did
a swatch
for your swatch
Symmetry.
With my Symmetry, yes. And I have made gauge.
Nice.
So I'm very pleased. So these are 4s. I hand wound this because it is the linen.
Dulcina? Damask.
Damask. Yes, damask. It's the silken linen. And my history with this, it's something with linen in the past that even if I put it on my Swift and then try to wind it, it shot up off the winder and went scooting across the floor. And then it gets tangled. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to hand wind this. It's a little contemplative. It makes one slow down. And it's not very tightly wound. No. So I didn't stretch anything. And as I said, I made gauge so I can, I can work on this.
I was going to say, are you going to put it through the washer and dryer, or are you going to...
I'm just going to go like this.
Okay. Living life dangerously.
I am. What can I tell you?
From the woman who always tells me to wash and block my swatches, the way you're going to wash and block your sweaters.
Here it is. And then I did work on this. So I have gotten down to the point where I'm working on the butt.
Okay.
So if you can see, the back is now slightly longer than the front. It's been a couple days since I worked on it. Here it is. I had it inside out. But I believe...
there's the tuckus.
There's the tuckus. Yes. So I believe I've got one more set of short rows and then 8 rows. So I think I'm at row 4. I need to do 4 more rows, and then I do the short rows, and then I do... So it starts curving around. So I will finish the tuckus this week, definitely. And I haven't even looked at what comes next. But I will finish that much at least. So there has been progress made. I've got a mess of yarn in here because I had to rip out. I had to frog back to the beginning of the short rows because I had forgotten counting.
Yes, counting can be very difficult.
Important. And it was late. It was late, and I was trying to power through this. And then I realized that I had messed. Well, first of all, I realized I'd made it too long.
Okay.
When I reread the instructions, it was 8 inches from the collar, not 8 inches from the underarm. And I was going to ignore this and make the next larger size, which almost was right. And then I made a mistake in one of the short row sequences, and I just said enough.
Okay, good.
And I ripped out until it was 8 inches from the collar.
Okay.
And I then started again with the short row sequence.
Okay.
So I've done 1.5 of
sequences.
Short row sequences. So I'll do the other 4 rows, and then I'll be in my last sequence. And then I'll read the directions again.
Good.
I know you like to use Knit Companion. I like to have Knit Companion too. My problem is, up until now, my iPad was going dead. And so it tended to, like, wink out on me because it was an old one and it didn't use power well. You use yours on the phone. My phone, I got a new battery. So now the glass lies flat, but it still manages to use all its power in a couple of hours. It's an old phone. So I've now ordered a new phone. I'm sure Richard will hit the roof
I'm so excited
when he sees this arrive. But
what is the ETA? Just so
Wednesday.
I know. Okay, good to know.
Wednesday. I will be sending my old phone in.
Okay.
I ordered it through Apple.
Good. That's how I ordered mine.
Because I couldn't understand what Verizon was telling me.
I understand. That's what we decided last year when mine lost its mind, remember?
Yes, I do remember that. And I went online 3 or 4 times, and they want you to pay an activation fee, which I'll have to do with this, which is $35, I think.
Okay. I didn't have to
just
with
take
mine.
the SIM card out, huh? All right, so we'll deal with this. Maybe I'll hold it until you get here.
That, or we can FaceTime on the iPads.
I have 30 days to send in the old phone. So anyway, I didn't understand all the extra fees that they were going to be charging. And then it told me what my new bill would be. And then it said, but, by the way, your bill's going to go up another $200. And I went, that doesn't make any sense to me.
That's what we had. And you all probably were not privy to it at the time because we did it pretty quickly with mine when mine lost its mind last year. Because mine stopped taking and making phone calls.
Yeah. Not good when you're using it for work.
Well, not good when you're interviewing for jobs during a pandemic, when it's all by phone and FaceTime and things. So I know because we had looked at that and done the same kind of thing and had the same kind of like, what?
Yeah, and I stopped by the local store and they were not very clear about what was going on. So I said, I remembered this whole conversation. I said, I'm going to do it through Apple. Whether it's any cheaper, I don't know. But it's kind of doubt it.
But either way, it's at this point, it's an ease of interaction.
I did get the Apple
Care
on this one. I didn't get the lost and found. I've never lost a phone. Of course, now I will. But I did get the Apple Care on it.
We did too on mine.
Which is very similar to what I had through Verizon, but they were charging me $10 or $15. They would have charged me $15 a month on this.
And also you get better service through Apple anyways.
I've always gotten better service through Apple. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But it's amazing to me that phones have gotten so intricate that you almost can use them as computers. Totally wild.
Well, my iPad, I've pretty much replaced having a home computer with it.
If I could do the cut and paste as easily with my iPad as I do with this computer.
Oh, I agree.
Then no question in my mind. I mean, on this computer, I can go in my email and I can highlight a thing and take it out and paste it someplace. I've tried to do that with my iPad.
I know. I think this is a slight user interface situation, but yes.
I mean, I've tried. They say, "Oh, you just do 2 fingers like this, and then you can spread it apart." Well, I tried it with my.
Again, if anyone's going to come to the comments and try to explain this to her, don't.
I've actually had people from Apple try to explain this. Obviously,
and myself and my boyfriend.
Once everybody, excuse me, my nose is itchy. Again, the kiss a fool. Once the pandemic and COVID is over and we're only worried about the flu, then I will make an appointment at the Genius desk and say, look, here's a piece of an email that I would like to copy. Show me, how you use the 2 fingers to get this thing to recognize that I want to specify something in the email and then spread it out, because I find it so easy with keystrokes on the computer.
Right.
I know it's just me, but hey.
It's okay.
Yes. So anyway, but I've done all kinds of things with the phone, using it as a hotspot, sending things when I had the online classes. So the other reason I got the phone now was because I don't want to be bringing a boat back from me. Oh, this phone stopped connecting to the cellular towers.
That's essentially what mine did last year, Mom.
It just said, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, you wanted to connect to that? No. I don't want to do that. So I said, I cannot be out
stranded on the boat
with a phone that's going, you want me to do what? No.
Act like a phone, please.
Yeah, act like a phone. So, I got it now, so I can transfer everything over. I have an automatic backup. Yes, I have a cloud account, so it automatically backs up, I think, every morning. This hair.
It's been hanging out around.
I know. You can probably see it. Anyway, so I have done knit. Oh!
I was going to say, what else have you worked? I mean, I've worked on a few other things.
Well,
so
I have worked on this.
Oh, wow.
So I've started filling in from the
bottom. You did the...
And I did
you got the whole
outline.
boat done, so you got the outline done. Nice.
Yes. I don't know if you can see, but it certainly does look like that. And if you look at the light, I've outlined that light. And I like that. I think I outlined some of the buildings.
Nice.
And the roofs. So
it looks really good.
I'm really quite pleased. And then I started working on the bottom here to kind of work up.
Okay.
One of the things I didn't want to do is keep working this way, because then I would be working over my row numbers. And I didn't want that at all. So I started working, well, as I said, I had finished this entire half. And then I decided to try to finish this row, and then this row, and then this row, and work up this way.
Okay.
So I am quite pleased. I got the painter, or the rope, on this boat. You see the little white one. So yes, I'm quite pleased with the embroidery that I got done this week. That was really good. And I started taking out my grid markers. So if you notice, there's a lot less of the red background threads in here. I have started taking them out. Now what I do have are forceps that are up here on the table someplace, that when things get difficult in taking things out, they're golden. You've seen them.
Yeah.
That I can use them to pull. They're around here someplace.
Yeah.
We'll not worry about it now. So I certainly will continue working on this. I'm hoping to get this done before we go pick up the boat, so I can bring a new one with me.
Oh.
It's going to be hard to figure out which one I want.
I know.
But this is going along really well. Quite
good.
Pleased. All right, so what else?
So I have turned the heel, and I am now on the heel decreases and going up the leg of these socks for my cousin. So these are my purse project and my, meeting knitting, and so, yeah, these are coming along just fine. I'm hoping that they will move a little bit faster, just because I'd like to get them done. I'm supposed to see her not this week, but next week.
Okay, well, that's possible. This is the last one, the second one.
Yes, for her.
Okay.
And then I can probably whip up some smaller ones for the knee sling. And then...
Oh, let's see.
I have...
Started
the top of this one. Again, I finished up this section over here. and I have started the section up here.
Now, have they come out with that pattern?
Not yet. It comes out on the 16th.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday.
Okay.
And it'll start with this infill.
Right.
So,
and what, it comes out once a month, once a week?
Once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks. Well, boy, aren't they go, go, go?
Well, the last one they did wasn't as full coverage, and it was like once a week, and mind-boggling. So, I'm hoping that I at least can get, as I said, the frame done, but I can also then, once they release the pattern, figure out what
has to be
done. And it's also only half that's being released today, or on
Wednesday for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, yeah.
Oh,
Give me a
makes
second. I can show Mom a photo of the layout. So
right,
there are 10 releases in it, and the red one is the first one.
Yes.
And then it's this light blue, and then these, and then down.
Nice.
So
then that's possible. I mean,
yeah.
2 weeks for those kind of spaces looks good.
Yeah. Did I miss it? No, it's right there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what it is and how it ends up looking. Because all we know is that it's Tamora Pierce.
That's right. Oh, so I did some canvas repair on Friday. Bridget says, well, you need to bring some small needles. I said, what am I sewing? He says, you need to be sewing the canvas on the Dodger. And I'm thinking, I know that canvas. I know that canvas well. That is not a small needle. Well, apparently he was trying to use some things that were humongous. And some waxed
linen or wax?
Wax linen. I mean, it's stuff that looks like twine to repair this. And I'm going, no. So I brought some bigger embroidery needles.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I brought some good polyester thread, and I did back stitching, and I actually had a system where I went through a pair of holes 3 times, and then I'd come down here and having done the next section. So I'd always have one section with one coverage while I was doing the repeat of 3 over here to keep it straight. And then when I finished that, I would do one more loop over here, and then I'd grab the next section. Then I'd do 2 or 3 more over here. So they have 3 or 4 loops through the hole. So there's 3 or 4 stitches holding each little piece on.
Okay.
I was very pleased with myself.
Good.
Yes, because the needle is just the right size. I brought a thimble with me, which was very helpful.
Yeah, especially with canvas.
But I was able to use the pre-existing holes. So I managed to put, a stopper on the zipper that your father keeps. I don't know where the original stopper went to, but there's something like 3 teeth, maybe 4 teeth missing. So I was able to whip stitch through the last set of teeth, and then I did around them and then over again and around them and over again, so that it now stops, so that there's no,
flying off the handle.
So the Dodger is well situated and staying on the boat. The zipper on another section is well seated. So next, I guess tomorrow we'll go to the boat and take the spare anchor off. And then Tuesday we may hoist you up the mast.
Maybe.
We'll
Dad
see.
has to determine whether or not that's a thing he wants to do.
Yes. And I think that's all we have to do.
That'll be good.
I think that'll be good. Our boat gets inspected on Friday, this coming Friday. So everything has been all forces ahead to try to get things in good shape. I think the boat's in good shape.
I do too.
We really haven't used it this spring because we had been looking at buying a boat, and so there was.
And Dad did a lot of work on it last season.
He did. So
a lot of things wore out last season that he really put a lot of work into.
Yeah, and so I've always, I guess after the first season with our boat, I've said I want a catamaran. So there's nothing really wrong with our boat. My sense of balance is not what it should be. I don't quite, trust the knee, which is all in my head. But I'm getting better. And I'm carrying more things in my hands as I go up the steps.
Good.
So that helps. And, you know, so I think anybody who does buy the boat and they want a boat that can tip and lean, great. I think they'll have a great time because I think it's a good seaworthy boat.
It's a very seaworthy boat.
Absolutely. So then we will go and see if the one in Maine is seaworthy also. I'm very excited about that one because that one has both AIS and radar.
Nice.
Yes. So the boats that don't have AIS should be able to see them on the radar, which is great. Which means the fishing boats that don't want to broadcast what their location is over AIS will be able to see them on the radar.
Good.
And I understand why this boat would have that because it's up in Maine and Maine gets foggy. So, anyway.
Good, though. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, things are moving along.
Yes. It sounds like we might have a sewing weekend next weekend then.
We'll see. And we make these plans. And
we do. And then we get migraines.
Yeah.
And then it just all falls apart.
Yes, it does.
Or there has a heat wave and we just tape to the couch.
Yes. I found that, you know, the 90-degree days that we had last weekend, I'm not good without having a solid cover over my head. So, another good thing about this new boat is that it will have a solid cover over my head, and I think we'll be able to go out in all weather if we care to, which will be good. So anyway, I did not go racing today because of the two-party after effects.
Oh, yeah.
I know. The diet's doing better. I had managed to lose about half a pound this week, so that's good. We're getting back on
track.
Back on track is right. So that's excellent. And now if I can just own up and be an adult about what I eat, that'll be great. And other than that, we don't have anything really planned until July. And then you and we are going up to Connecticut. Then we're leaving you and going to Rhode Island. And then we go up to Maine for the boat inspection. Things are moving along. My husband keeps thinking the summer's almost over. I said, it's barely begun. But that's the life of someone who's retired.
I know.
Yes. Anything else? I don't think no books came in the mail this week.
No, I mean, it's been a very quick week.
Surprisingly. And I've been reading, I don't know, 2 or 3 books today. Today, as I laid in bed waiting for everything to clear, I think I read 3 or 4 books.
Wow.
Yes, but they're little novellas. You know, it's not deep fiction. It's not deep literature. I'm not reading Beowulf or something like that. No. It's little mysteries and stuff like that.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Light literature for the ill. I'm doing much better.
Good. But I think with that, we're going to weave in our
Well, you went to church today.
Oh, I did go to church today. And today was our first in-person later service.
Right.
We have had a 8/9 o'clock service.
Limited to 10 people.
Limited to 15.
Okay.
For a while now.
I'd say since the middle of last summer.
Yeah. So we've had that, and then we usually had the 10 o'clock on Zoom. We have now moved that to be a hybrid service, and we have moved the 9 o'clock back to its original 8 o'clock position. And it was really lovely. The choir is not back in session. The choir will be back in session in the fall. But it was really great to be.
Many showed up today.
There were a few of us, not all that many, but a few. And it was great. It felt like when I came back from Nova and I just started crying.
Yes,
because I was so happy.
It's good to be home. I'm hoping to be in good shape to be there next Sunday. We don't have a double cookout next weekend, so I shouldn't be having after effects of having eaten too much or eaten too much of the wrong thing and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing people.
Yeah, no, but it was
and
good.
I will have my plastic underneath.
Yes, well,
what I don't like about the mask is it touches my mouth. And if you're singing, then I start inhaling things, little pieces of fiber. Not fun. So with my little plastic catcher's
holder out.
Yeah, it's like a catcher's mask. It's a form that it holds the mask out. So not a problem. Yep. Anything else?
No, I think
we're going to weave in
it.
some ends. I may go down and start working on my counted cross stitch, or I may just finish that last little book I started.
all our options.
All our options. And then tomorrow, as I said, unless it rains, we'll be out on the water taking the spare anchor off. So we are moving ahead. I can't believe how fast the days are going. Oh, your father and I went walking on the beach.
No?
Yes, I have found that, I think we're up to maybe doing that once a week because my knee, the muscles around the knee get very upset, but they're working harder. So if we start off with once a week, then we can build up to twice a week and keep going that way. The other thing I did was I took my watch and I increased my activity level up to 500 calories.
Yes, you did that last week.
And so I seem to have hit that 3 out of 4 days. So that's good. Yes, I've been really working at that. So that I'm sure that helped with the weight decrease also this week because I make a concerted effort to be more active. Tough for a knitter.
Yeah.
Since what we want to do is sit and knit or sit and crochet or sit and do our counter cross stitch. So it really is a decided focus that, yes, I'm going to get up, I'm going to maybe have my cup of coffee, and then I'm going to go do my stretches, or I'm going to go do my exercises, or I'm going to walk around the block, or I started walking over to the pharmacy anytime I need a card, rather than driving over, which is what I used to do, or doing it as a beginning or end of some trip. I'm walking over instead.
Good.
So that helps get some more footsteps in. So that's good. Anyway, sorry to drag on. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.